Right, it's January 29th and I got some good news. A good news update in the shop. It's nice and warm in here. And I'm about to show you we've made a little progress.
Site we haven't seen in a couple of months. I think it's been beginning of December, so over almost 2 months this thing's been out of commission. We just finished bolting the loader back on. It's kind of haphazardly put on. A lot of the sheet metal we didn't get around to putting in yet down in here. You can see right into the so that'll get done next couple of months. Nothing got painted except for that one little metal tube. Floors didn't get patched, but I just put 2 buckets in my truck, so it's being used, so happy about that. And it runs perfect. The clutch is working just like it did when it was new, 20 years ago. So, yeah, we're good. These things didn't go in right, these bolts, but I gotta work on that. There's something weird about that whole setup there. Anyway, I managed to change the fuel filter, which is way down. You're gonna see where it is. This is why I wanted it done before the cab went back on. That's it right there. And when that sheet metal's in the front, right now where your toes go, there's a piece of sheet metal that's out. So you could probably reach up from underneath and get at it. But it's one tight place to work, boy. I didn't, it was a long time since it had been changed. It was really dirty. So I'm glad that's done. Brand new fuel filter, brand new hydraulic filter, brand new oil. I managed to create like that one tube, but we got a long way to go before. I'm not even going to say we're going to do a restoration on this. We're just going to try and patch a few things. Even this bar that goes across, really rusty. There's 2, one goes on top of the other, so they rubbed against each other and rust like crazy. Salt gets in there. And everything else is fine on this thing. Everything works. So what I want to do, the other project that I'm going to make a video of, it hit something way back. You can see how the loader arms, one's a little crooked. This one over here, the right one's down a bit, and the left one's up. So you can see it's a little higher here than it is over here. So what my plan is to cut the weld on both sides of this steel pipe going across on this side, because it's already cracked in one spot. And see, it cracked right there years ago, I think from the impact. I always planned on welding that, but I'm glad I didn't. So I'm just going to take a cutting disc, a really thin one, and go in there and cut the welds both sides. Take the bucket off, unpin both cylinders here, and we're going to position this thing so it's as straight as we can by eye. Tack weld it, because you can see this corner of the bucket is up in the air. And that cutting edge on that side is worn right down. It rubs on the ground. It's got to be like almost 2 inches higher on one side than the other. Now that'll be done. Hopefully I'll do that in March, I think. March, April. Get 2 weeks of good weather, and once we do that, we can't use it till it's finished. So, but the sheet metal and even the grill here, lots of rust. This is from 15, 20 years of loading salt. So we'll get that sand, use those flap discs, just sand the crap out of it, and prime it and paint it. Straighten all the dents in the grill. We for a long time we didn't have this big steel grill. One thing I've learned over the years is don't buy a tractor and cheap out and not buy if this thing's $500, just buy it. You're gonna do $500 in damage to the front sheet metal bumping into stuff. So when you're loading a dump truck or something, this thing bumps. It hits right here, actually. And once you put this on, you can't damage that. And then you save yourself a lot of heartache in the long run. So, what else? Yeah, I want to get some new windows. This front windshield's broken. You can see the big crack there. And back window I took out We used to have an attachment that the handle went right through the window right here. It used to hit right here too. So get a new sign maybe. Try and make this thing look a little more presentable. Cut that light off. That's the old original light that it came with. And, you know, just go around and spruce it up a little bit. Wire brush. You know, flap discs every little area we can. And put a little paint on. There's a hole in the fender right there. That's a drilled hole. There used to be handles up there, I think. That could have been why the light was on. And just go over it, clean this up, grind that out, and repaint. But generally just spruce it up. You know, make it look a little. We don't bring this to too many jobs, but look at the seat. This thing's had a hard life. So I bought a new seat years ago. I just never get around to putting it in. And yeah, look at that. She's a little bit floppy. Okay, so you know what I managed to do is I got to clean all the linkage everywhere. You can kind of see it there. So I went around and I oiled it all last Friday, and then this morning I got in there with the grease gun, squirted grease all over. And I mean, it's shifting like butter now. And I took a grinder and I cut off a little tab right here. It blocks out 4 high and reverse. So you've got all your speeds here. And so I'll put it in 4 low, 4 reverse, 4 high. Well, there's 4 high reverse, and that little bar would have come up and hit this pin at the top, but now that it's cut, and it would stop it from going into gear. Now it just slips right into gear. So not like a backup in 4 high everywhere I go, but if I'm in a big open area and I want to get the job done quick, I slam it in 4 high and reverse, and you know, it's all the other tractors we have that those top gears aren't blocked out in reverse. So you know, they were worried about somebody killing somebody with this, I guess. Liability. So here we go. There's the update. I promised I would show you the progress on this as we go along, and I'm hoping that we see some new bright orange paint on it in the coming months. For sure by April we'll have some stuff redone on it. And you know, it's pretty original. This tractor's got very little been fixed on it, really. That clutch lever is the first major component that's been changed on it. So, and I built the cab. I built this cab in the early 90s. I think it was 92 or 93. I made it out of square tube, 1x2, and it's completely separates here. So you've got 3 parts, 3 main components. You got the 2 front corners, which are this side here and the other side around the door, and then the whole top piece. The windows. That window closes. And the hoses aren't back where they go yet. For the heater, it's got a nice heater in it. It gets too hot in there pretty well. It works too well, that heater. So there. And then the back window's missing too. I took the glass out because it looked worse having shattered glass. So this thing opens up. Right now, you got 3-point hitches in the hood. There we go. Has a wiper, and it's quite the little tractor. It's a bit small in here, a little tight, but you know what? You're out in the pouring rain. It's nice to have the cab. So hopefully we'll see more progress over the next, like I said, 3-4 months. But I'm glad it's running again. This is a real big step forward, because not having it and having 20-something tons of salt and salt shed, man, it was a pain. So that's my update. Thanks for watching. All right, last thing I wanted to show you before I end here. So I got a little fun project coming up. Found a piece of aluminum in the scrap pile. It's about 3/8 of an inch thick or so. It's an inch here, but as you can see, it's machined out here. This is exactly the way I found it. It's 6 3/8 in diameter, and my plan is to take it. This is not scale, but bore a large hole in the center, remove all that material, and then bore 3 holes around like this. So if anyone can guess what I'm going to do here, let me know in the comments. And that's going to be made out of this piece of aluminum. That's coming up. I don't know. I can't say when I'm going to do it, as long as I get a little time. If it's not snowing every day, I may start that in a week or two. Thanks for watching.